Hey, it's the Eglinton West Pop-Up Podcast, basketball edition. We usually cover the Raptors games after them, which we will still be doing for the playoffs. The next game is coming up in a couple of hours, Monday, against the Philadelphia 76ers. And we're up or we're down, I should say. We're down 3-1. No team has come back from a 3-0 deficit, which is what we're trying to do to make history, and no better team and coach to make it than, and general manager than Daryl Morey and Doc Rivers in Philadelphia. But of course, we've had some great moments in the Raptors games in the last little while, as dire it might seem to some, fair weather friends and bandwagoners. But Scotty Barnes, our fourth pick that a lot of people thought we shouldn't have picked, is the rookie of the year, baby, as I have predicted. Right on, right on. Pascal Siakam, that a lot of Raptors fans are jumping off and on like fair weather friends and bandwagons. Wow, is that going to be the theme of the night? Fair weather friends and bandwagons? Let's go with it. Yeah, them fair weather friends, bandwaggers and scalawags and, detractors. Dude came back in the last game with his best game ever in a playoff series. 34 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. And that's without Fred VanVleet, who left 5 minutes into the second quarter of that game number 4. Ripped his jersey when he went off too. That dude was mad. Of course, Gary Trent also had his record amount in the playoffs, 24 points. We've been doing stuff. I've seen, I used to call him like the bull in the china shop. Tell the truth, Precious Assure. That brother would just go into the paint, no matter how many people had stuffed up the paint, and would just run into the paint and commit a foul, a turnover, or some bullshit. But the dude had some exquisite plays in that fourth game. Mercy on Brother Percy. And of course, excellent defense on Embiid. And to go back through that game, I think we got the players to give it to Embiid. He gets really frustrated with OG, gets extremely frustrated with Chris Boucher. That dude is just manhandling Chris Boucher under the paint, I'm telling you. Siakam gives him fits, his fellow Cameroonian. Them dudes are what, 4 hours away, they say on the broadcast from each other. Grew up 4 hours away. And Precious can put some pressure on him. Then we can also throw Thaddeus Young at him. And a dude, I believe my man Michael Solomon saying, my co-MC in the Pop-Up Podcast, Old Heads Talking Basketball, where we review the Raptors games, that hometown boy, Delano Banton, got to get more play. You know what I'm saying? 6'9", can handle the ball. Come on, he don't score much. And that brother loves to fall down. I tell you, that brother just loves to fucking fall down. I don't know what's wrong with that brother, because he fell down. He was on for like, about 3 minutes? He fell down twice in the first minute and a half. I'm like, what's up with you falling down, Delano? Nonetheless, we've seen a lot of records. OG Anunoby had his record, playoff stats also. We've been breaking records, I'm telling you. You know what I mean? And making history. And we have an opportunity to make history now too. But I'd like to maybe focus this and do a pivot to my man, JV, Jonas Valinciunas, who the Raptors really fucked over, I thought. And if it wasn't for him being traded, well, we probably wouldn't have won that title in 2019. You know what I mean? Traded to Memphis with a bunch of cats. Hey. JV had, what did JV had tonight? Shit, let me just look and see. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Anybody know where my phone is? Oh man, where's my phone? JV had, was it 26 points, 11 rebounds, and like 4 assists. Somewhere in that ballpark. I'll go back and check later on. Ow, ow. But dude, that dude's been playing because DeAndre Ayton, brother from the Bahamas, by the way, the Bahamian brother, playing for Phoenix, 7-foot center, 7-foot plus center. Dude is from the Caribbean, as it were. JV is from Lithuania. Came into the series in terms of the NBA with an illustrious career in the European League, playing for Lithuania, one of their star players. We got him for what, pick number 5 in 2011. And after that, they absolutely, the Toronto Raptors, especially under assistant coach Casey, absolutely mismanaged JV's career and trajectory in the NBA. They used to blame the brother for moving off of the paint to try to go after the man that Lowry or DeRozan, who were the 2 big dudes that, you know, my man had going on, assistant coach Casey, played those dudes to the death in the regular season, that they had nothing left in the tank for the playoffs. You know what I mean? But JV had 26 points. This just in. Ow, ow. This just in. JV stats, 26 points, 15 rebounds, 4 assists. Wow. Career high in the playoffs. I'm really, really, really glad and complimentary and exemplary celebrate JV's record. And he played his ass off tonight, I tell you, in that win with the Phoenix Suns down 103 to 118. The New Orleans NOLA dudes won that game to tie that series 2-2. Here's something about that series I want to point out. This is the #1 seed in the West, the Phoenix Suns, who went to the finals last year and lost. And they got what some people call the point guard God. The point guard God. Chris Paul, who was very frustrated by a bunch of rookies. 2 rookies just had him in their crossfire tonight. I'm telling you. And JV was the glue between all of it, I think. But of course, I'm biased. You know what I mean? Call me Clifton Bias. I just changed my last name. I am biased. Call me Mr. Bias. You know what I mean? What am I talking about? JV came, much like Don Chuck, exemplified themselves in the European League from early. Them dudes in Europe play professional basketball at 15 and 16 and shit. So when you get a good player from them countries in the Europe, you got to go with them. The Raptors were pretty hesitant. Casey's one of them traditional coach, assistant coach Casey is one of them traditional coach, known from all the way back in the Supersonics with Gary Payton and the Rain Man, Sean Kemp, etc. You know what I mean? He was known as a defensive guy. He was still known years later when the Dallas Mavericks with Nowitzki won, beat the Heat and got their first championship. He was still known for as a defensive coach or assistant coach, as I call him. Then he came on this whole thing about pounding the rock and would be pressing defense and so on. But his two major players that he leaned on them like they were twins named Bill Withers. What's that about? What was that about? Run them guys through the ground. But I never really thought, sorry, I'm caught in the thought between the West Indian and the Canadian. Thought, me never think. Oh, I never thought. Me never think that Lowry and DeRozan, as much as I love them two brothers, could really bring us a championship if they were number 1 and 2. I'm like, where's number 1A? Nonetheless, they blame JV for moving from the paint. DeRozan played no defense in his years in Toronto. Absolutely none. You know what I mean? Cats would blow by him like it's a hurricane in the Caribbean. And you're in like a tin shack with galvanized and thing and no real roof. It's gonna be wet, brother. Ow! Same thing with Lowry at the time. Number 7, love the brother. We'll have his statue outside of the Scotiabank Arena. Who knows, who knows? Of course it'll happen. Maybe he'll come back and even coach the Raptors at one point, or as he promised, he'll spend his last game. You know, where they do a ceremonial thing, like he'll get traded from his last team and pop, ends up his last day in the NBA on the Raptors. What a wallop of sentimentality, eh? I'm telling you. But back to my man JV, Jonas Valinciunas. They fucked that brother over. Remember when they put weight on him after he even won the championship with Lithuania, I think? Don't check me on that. Okay, check me, you fact checkers. Fuck you. JV, remember when they put all that weight on him, saying he got to be a bigger center and all this kind of crap? Look at what the brother man did in New Orleans on their home court against the number 1 Suns, them being the number 8. New Orleans with JV and his team with Ingram. That dude played his ass off, didn't he? And what's that brother with the awkward name? Herbert Jones or Herb Jones? That dude outdid, just with 2 blocks, outdid Chris Boucher, Toronto's big shot blocker from the 3-point line especially. That dude climbed. It's like he has a personal set of invisible stairs he can climb. He has an invisible little ladder. He can go up. Man, I don't know how that brother went up that high and blocked those 2 shots. Damn, mercy, and brother Percy. It ain't over until it's over. You know, and I ain't rolling over like Rover because the fat lady hasn't sung yet, and I'm cool. I'm over. Man, oh man. Back to JV. Right on. I digress. I like to dress and I like to digress and I like to stress. And maybe not so much to stress, but I like to bless. But I like to digress as I digress. Back to JV though, as well as saying, where was I? Where was I? The Raptors coaching staff, led by assistant coach Dwayne Casey, messed up JV, blamed him for a lot of their problems, refused to change their coaching strategy to include him more in the lineup, and totally gave Kyle Lowry and DeMar DeRozan the keys to the kingdom and just concentrated on them, where JV ended being a third wheel. A third wheel. Now, mind you, if you stick me up in a back corner in an alleyway on Eglinton, I might have to say to you, yeah, we had to trade. You're right, boy. We had to trade JV to win the title. You know what? I'd say that to you. You know what I mean? I hope you let me go. You know what I'm saying? Let the boy go. Let the boy go. Let the dude go. Leave him alone. Let him slide like James Brown out of here. You know, I'd even actually do a split before I did the slide. Ow. So yeah, I just wanted to say props to JV, Jonas Valinciunas, for the excellent work he's doing right now with the New Orleans Pelicans. 26 points, 15 rebounds, and 4 assists, his record playoff numbers, and was able to propel the Pelicans to tie in the series with the number 1. The Pelicans is the number 8 seed in the West, playing the number 1 seed in the West, the Phoenix Suns, who went to the NBA Finals last year. And I just wanted to say props to JV as an ex-Raptor who's still rapping his things and doing his things, and on behalf, unsolicitedly, on behalf of the Toronto Raptors organizations. Jonas, I apologize for the bad way them motherfuckers treated you while you're in Toronto. Congratulations, brother. Let's have a party. Right on. This has been the Eglinton West Pop-Up Podcast, Basketball Emergency Edition, unsolicited. A tribute to JV and secondarily to the stellar work that the New Orleans Pelicans are doing in the best of 7 series against the number 1 seed, the Phoenix Suns, and they're tied now 2-2. Let's get this party started. Right on.